soldier, Major Stefan Frederick Cook, who was supposed to deploy to Afghanistan in coming days, has now had his orders revoked. According to his lawyer, quote, they just said, order revoked. No explanation, no reasons, just revoked. Now, Major Cook and his lawyer expressed joy at this outcome, and they took it as an admission on the part of the military that the president is not, in fact, a legitimate citizen by birth. So, I mean, what was wrong with people saying, wait a minute, you know what, in light of the fact where your father came from, etc., let's just make sure that this is a legitimate birth certificate. What was so wrong with raising that question?
President Obama promised transparency and openness in his administration, yet he's chosen not to release his original birth certificate or a copy of it.
What I don't understand is that with Army officers refusing to serve in Afghanistan, with lawsuits going forward, why not just produce the doggone birth certificate and be done with it?
The imposter got into the equivalent of the White House in Afghanistan. Did they not ask this guy for some kind of identification? They clearly didn't. They clearly didn't ask this guy for his birth certificate. How in the world could they trust a leader and even give money to somebody who has not been properly vetted? Oh, well, because it happened here in the United States. We have an imposter, for all intents and purposes, serving in the White House.
And he really owes it to the American people to just look at them and say, look, I'm not going to play games with you. I'm not going to play games with this birth certificate business, the certificate of live birth, all that. I'm not going to do that. Just tell me what it is you need for me to clear up all of our misunderstandings about my birth. I will do it. We will clear it up. We will get it off the table, and we will go on to running America.
I'm Lieutenant Colonel Terry Lakin, an active duty Army physician in my 18th year of active uniformed service to our country. I want you to know the reasons why I feel I have no choice but the distasteful one of inviting my own court-martial. For the first time in all my years of service to our great nation, and at great peril to my career and future, I am choosing to disobey what I believe are illegal orders, including an order to deploy to Afghanistan for my second tour of duty there. I will disobey my orders to deploy because I, and I believe all servicemen and women, and the American people, deserve the truth about President Obama's constitutional eligibility to the office of the presidency and the Commander-in-Chief.
We are calling now for the immediate resignation of Barack Hussein Obama. Enough of their deceit, enough of their fraud, enough of their corruption, enough of their dishonesties, and by God, enough of their violations of our trusted Constitution. Stand with me, ladies and gentlemen. We got to make this happen. So we're calling here in Virginia City the first time a demand resignation of the President of the United States. The second thing that we're asking for that's never been done in our history, unless you can prove me wrong, because following this demand, we want a national petition by our Congress for a new election.
At 7 years old, my two sisters worked the front of the shop with my mother. That's how I grew up. I learned every lesson of hard work. I learned how to treat people. I learned how to be fair.
Today there is a concerted effort on all radio stations to get birthers on the air. I mean, That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. First of all, let's just play these out. If you're a birther, you believe that the President of the United States was born in, they think Kenya, right? So he was
anywhere outside of here, I guess.
Anywhere outside of the United States. Well, you got to remember that he preemptively planted his birth announcements in the Hawaii newspapers. Now you would say, well, then why doesn't he just produce? Good question. That one kept me up for minutes at a time. Minutes. I spent, yes.
Personal responsibility. That if I've done something wrong, it's up to me to pay the price. It's up to me to make it right. We believe in the right of the individual. We believe in the right of the individual. We believe in the right. You can speak out. You can disagree with me. We don't mind. You have a different opinion than me. That's okay. You don't agree with me. That's okay.